The long-awaited Mattel Creations Eternia playset goes up for pre-order this Wednesday, celebrating the official 40th anniversary of Masters of the Universe. And before we dive into the news, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you can be alerted to the latest news, reviews, and episodes when they drop. Hey everyone, welcome back to Toy Habits News. I'm Michael, and with me is my collector in crime, Larry. And before we dive into Eternia, apologies on my part. I was traveling for work last week, so this is the first time Larry and I have gotten a chance to talk about this, but we did see all of your comments wondering if we were going to cover this, and here we are back in action.
Yeah, freaking work and regular life getting in the way of toy conversations.
I know, right? Come on now. It's like, these day jobs, man, they're for the birds. But last week, the Eternia playset that was revealed at SDCC 2022, the information was launched on Mattel Creations. And I remember this. We were about to go live, during Comic-Con preview night, and an image was leaked before preview night, and this literally broke the internet.
Yeah, it was crazy. That kind of night before everything got started, seeing this thing pop up, and it was like, at the time, is this real, or is this just one of those things where they just set up this cool display, and then the more you start looking at it, you're like, now this isn't an old one, this is different, and it's taken a while to get to the point where we're ready to get the crowdfunding started, but here we are.
Yes, and here we are, and the pricing information and backing information was revealed. So let's first get the price out of the way. And this thing is not cheap, and this set needs 5,000 backers total to fund this and make it happen.
Yes, which figures out to, I think it was $2.75 million.
Yes.
Which is it's a bunch.
It's a lot of money. Yeah, I think we've talked about this before with Hasbro for just having these crowdfunding projects for these billion-dollar toy companies, right?
Yeah, all these things seem crazy to me. Are you ready for the rant?
Yeah, let's do it.
To me, this is a crazy price point.
Yeah.
Not just, oh man, this is a lot of money, but I'm getting it because I'm personally not getting it. I've got so many problems with the price. I mean, I feel like, for one thing, for me, Origins has been awesome because not only am I getting all these cool figures just like I saw them when I was a kid, but they're at a decent enough price point, at 16, 18 bucks a figure, where I can let my kids play with them. No big deal. I can get them all down off the shelf. Graham can play with them. Lucy can play with them. Whatever. It's not a problem. But then I'm going to have this 550, which actually ends up being closer to $700 after shipping and tax and all that. I'm going to have this play set that I've got to find room for because it's 3x4.
Yep.
So I've got to have this thing sitting in my office or in a playroom or in a kid's room, and then just be like, hey kids, have at it. Don't break anything.
Right.
Or be the dad that's like, I know it looks awesome, but don't touch it because it's too expensive. You can't play with it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, my kids are not at that age, thank goodness, so I don't have to make that decision. But still, like, close to $700, that's not a trivial price point for something. Plus the footprint it's going to leave in your room that you're going to be having this thing. So it's like, one, I don't even know where I'm going to put this thing, literally. And it's like, if I'm going to get it, I think I'm just going to leave it in the box for a while, and then now I have to figure out and rearrange stuff, and it's going to be a huge hassle.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is awesome. I agree with that. I guess I just feel like the other side of it is, for the classics line, Castle Grayskull. What do we say it was? Was it $399?
$399.99.
And to me, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that was just as impressive or more so than this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it felt. I mean, I bought that thing at the time, and it felt solid. It was awesome. And this may feel the same way. It may have that same kind of feel to it, but we're not that far removed from classics. I don't know. This just feels different because to me, that line didn't have any retail backing, and that was why the price point. That's how they justified it at the time for the figures and Grayskull.
Yep.
Was we don't have any retail support to back this. It's just the subscribers. It's only the collector markets. This has the retail backing. Now I know this is a crowdfunded thing, but you've got a built-in base. You can see what your sales numbers are. So I guess that's the thing is there's just so many problems with it for me. I just can't support it.
Like I don't know how they went from like just the Origins Castle Grayskull being 89.99,
Yes,
to something that probably is taking, maybe a little bit more plastic to mold. It's got some more features in it, but
for
having
sure.
something go from 90 to $550 is just it's a big stretch for me too.
It really is, and I think that to me they're pushing it a bit here as far as how much collectors are willing to kind of to go to support
Yeah.
something. I mean, I think if this had been $400 all in with shipping and tax, then to me you're kind of in that middle ground where it's like, man, this is a bunch of money compared to Castle
Yeah.
Grayskull, even for Origins. But it's still like, well, this is a crowdfunded thing. It's a thing that they've got to look at. They've got to do all the tooling, all the everything from scratch. So maybe but I just feel like this is just enough more that I can't see it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And yeah, I think, we're screwed in the US, but the folks in other countries are even more screwed than we are.
Yep.
So this sec is a heck of a lot more. And based on exchange rates, like the price for Canadians should be $755, but for Canadians, it's 130 more. So that brings that total to 885. So they're over $1,000 in on this set.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and I wonder what the kind of what the justification is. Like what is the reasoning for that? Why are the numbers so far off?
Yeah, I don't know, and it's I'm assuming these things are produced overseas, and so it's like it's weird that the shipping surcharge is a lot more. It should be a lot more for the U.S. to be honest.
Yeah, you would think so. I mean,
Like I don't know
I
how that
really
works
don't know. I don't get it.
though. So we're not going to try and get it. But one other thing to note is if you were part of the $1 debacle and you have your $10 coupon handy, you won't be able to use it for this set.
I didn't even notice that.
It's another kick in the nuts.
Yes. Well, I mean, I don't blame them because I mean, they got to figure, they got to get the money to be able to make the thing, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's one thing I can wrap my head around. But regardless of the price, the Eternia playset is pretty freaking amazing, and it is the ultimate tribute between the battle between good and evil. So we have the Viper Tower on the right, which represents the evil of the Snake Men and Snake Mountain, and Castle Grayskull Tower representing the good, and Castle Grayskull and the mid tower, kind of combining the two.
Yeah, it's definitely an impressive play set. It looks really cool, and it is going to be massive if you have this in a collection room. It's to me, I don't know how it wouldn't be a centerpiece depending on the collection. I'm sure there are other things that might be more impressive, but I think this is going to be a pretty cool thing to have, and I think the value of it's probably going to hold up or maybe even be quite a bit more on the secondary market afterwards
Yeah.
because of like guys like me that 2 years down the line, maybe kind of regret it or whatever, but who knows?
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, that 4 foot wide by 3 foot tall footprint is definitely going to be challenging. I was running through how I was going to fit this in the room that I'm in right now, and I'd have to move my TV. I'd have to basically take out some shelving that I had, or just put it kind of outside my door in another, kind of closet area that's connected to this room. But like, then I won't get to see it.
Yeah, and it's funny because we've joked about stuff like this before, like, hey, you'd have to knock out a wall
Right.
or move your collection room to a different spot in the house or move into the garage or and this is like a come to life kind of thing. Like you have nowhere to put this. I have no place in my office to put it. If I were to get it, it would sit on the floor in the middle of the room. There would be nowhere else for it to go.
Yeah, you would basically probably put it with your boxes of the Mega Constructs Castle Grayskull, and it'll just sit on top, right?
Yeah, and the thing is though, that's only it's only a 1 foot deep.
Right.
So I'd have to stack four of those cabinets, kind of just wall off that closet door over there. Yeah, just and then it would just sit on top of there. and you couldn't even really see it that well. So
Yeah, it's hard. Like I'm also going through, something in my head. It's like, do I get this and just it just sits in the box and like that's no fun.
no, that isn't fun. And that's the thing. Like to me, if it breaks down easily and you weren't afraid that like things were gonna, snap or break, that might be one thing where you could, you kind of justify like, well, I could kind of disassemble it, and just get it out and kind of enjoy it.
Yeah,
Whether you set it up as a display for a month and then kind of pull it down and put other things out in its place or something. But
a lot of
other
work.
than that, I don't know. Yeah, it would be a lot of work.
But it does have some really cool action features. So the middle tower and that lion's head that captures would-be intruders, kind of just like the vintage playset.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I like that they've got some of those things in there. It's a pretty creepy kind of trap if you
Yeah,
look at it.
it is.
But yeah, it's awesome. I think it's cool that they're doing a lot of these kind of playability kind of things. It's
Yes.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like it's a lot of fun, and there's also three motorized ways to get around the playset. So this playset is quite interactive. So like, if I was gonna have this out, I would want it near me because I would want to just be kind of messing around with it and kind of making the tram go around, or He-Man going around the playset.
Oh yeah, as a kid, this thing would be. I mean, you could play with this forever. Like
Right.
there's all the different storylines. Even as an adult, I could come up with several, and I'm no good at that anymore. But just looking at this, I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Just it looks cool, and there's a lot of different things you could do here. So
Yeah, and that's just the outside of the playset, and then inside the playset there are a ton of details, including a working elevator and a training room and armory that has a maneuverable horde trooper dummy. That's You can control it by that chair in the command center, which is really cool. I guess if you look closely at the floor, I guess if you move that chair, that also moves that horde trooper dummy. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can do with this.
yeah, that kind of stuff, little touches like that are pretty cool. One question I have though is like, are there gonna be? Do you have to apply the stickers?
Oh, I hope
Because
not.
because to me, how nerve-wracking would that be? I mean, you spend all the money on the thing, and then you have to like so carefully apply all the stickers to get them looking great,
Yeah.
because there's no fixing it.
No, I mean for, the cost of the thing, I would expect the stickers to be applied already, but maybe this is going to be like Castle Grayskull where you have to apply the stickers and man, that gives me so much anxiety.
I know. Yeah, I cringe just kind of looking at it, thinking about it, because it would be bad.
That would suck. And if you back this within the first week, you get a bonus King Grayskull figure, and I think we were talking about this earlier of just like this set doesn't even come with an action figure.
Yeah, yeah, for $700. I mean, I know it's not 700. I know it's 550 plus tax plus shipping.
Yeah.
But for that much money, this ought to come with a couple figures and
Yeah.
then maybe some bonus stuff as we move on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
You
like
know,
I think there's ways that Hasbro has handled this crowdfunding thing and like their unlocks are great, but I think Mattel is handling this early bird figure in a much better way because Hasbro has an all or nothing offering that they do. So they've had this in their last two HasLab crowdfunding projects with the His Tank and the latest Engine of Vengeance Marvel Legends campaign. So if their projects don't get fully backed within that week where you don't get that early bird figure, but at least you can get this figure if you've ordered it, and you'd have to qualify to ordering it by October 19th at 11:59 p.m.
I have mixed emotions about it, I think. I like that it's, if you back it the first week, you're getting the figure as long as it makes it through. But it is a lot of pressure to put on people, for basically what do we have, a week's notice?
Mm-hmm.
That only gives you a week to figure out $550 purchase a couple months before Christmas. That's not a lot of time, so that you've really got to, you know, you've got to just basically just be cool with the price and
Yeah.
be like, yeah, I'm doing it the first week because if you're gonna get it, you got to get Grayskull,
Oh
you know?
yeah, yeah, and they said that the Grayskull will arrive in a separate shipment, which makes sense because they're not going to basically unbox the thing and throw Grayskull in there.
Yeah, no, that would kind of suck. And I really I hate that he's exclusive to the set. I hope that I would really like to see him released, as a separate
Hmm.
figure. Maybe we won't get the furry cape or something, but he should be released as part of the regular Origins line too. So
Yeah,
we'll
he
see.
totally should. And Eternia goes on sale this Wednesday, and the crowdfunding will end on November 9th. So they need 5,000 backers to make this happen. And the $1 million question is, well, we already know that you're not backing this, but you know, are folks going to be backing this? If so, why? If not, why not?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, I definitely want to hear, what people have to say about it. I've seen kind of a lot of mixed. A lot of people just, oh, I'm backing it the first day, but there does seem to be a lot of people out there that are upset with the price, and be interesting to see kind of how it works.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only this price that you're dealing with, but like if you're a Hasbro collector and if you funded the His Tank and all the other HasLab projects and all the pre-orders that are coming, that they've pulled up. So it's like, Tomax and Zaymot and Stalker and the Viper 3 pack and the Megatron and Baroness mashup, like that is all coming and hitting right now. So wallets are hurting right now.
It's definitely a tough time to be a collector. You got to either get a second job or have a trust fund or something to be able to fund all the collections because man,
Yeah,
there's a lot of expenses there.
it is. It's a tough time to be a collector, but it's also a great time to
Yeah.
be a collector with all this cool stuff coming out. So let us know what you think of the Eternia playset in the comments below, and if you'll be backing this project or not. We would love to know both sides. I'm Michael,
And I'm Larry.
and thanks for tuning into this Toy Habits News Brief.